Hello and welcome to GoogleEDU, New Features We Love. This is a bite-sized PD airing on February 12th, and whether you're watching this with me on the 12th or you're connecting with me later, I'm just excited that you're here today. By way of introduction, my name is Emma Moss. I'm a digital teaching and learning specialist here in the Instructional Supports Department. And this is my email address. It's emma.moss@canyonsdistrict.org. If you have questions about Google, I'd love to connect with you, so please feel free to reach out. The other thing is I love Google. Outside of my work responsibilities in Canyons, I'm also part of the Google Educator Group, or GEG group, here in Utah. I've had opportunities to present on the national stage about Google AI tools, as well as getting updates on some of those new features. So excited to share some of them with you today. These are our professional learning norms. I recognize that you are watching this on your own time, and so I'd invite you to review these for just a moment and select one that you'd like to work on, whether that's being committed for the time that you have here today or being safe and taking care of your needs. So we're going to just take a moment to pause. You can either pause the video or pause with me to select a norm that you're going to work on. Wonderful. For whatever norm you decided to work on today, we'll come back to that as we work through these new features together. Here is our learning intentions and success criteria. Today you are learning about new features in Google for Education so that you can apply innovative practice to your classroom to support yourself and your students. You'll know that you've learned it when you can select one new Google feature to utilize in your classroom. So we'll check back in with this learning intention. But I have several new features to show you, but you're going to plan out by the end, if you're successful, how you can use that new feature. Here is our MTSS framework, or our multi-tiered system of support. We're focusing on high quality teaching and learning with technology best practice, being that if you have that intentional integrated use with technology, that you'll be able to support all learners in your classroom. So here's our agenda today. We've gone through the welcome. We're going to have some opening information. I'm going to show you some 10 new features, 10 of them, and then we'll have that exit ticket feedback and thank you. So here we go. We're ready to get started. The first feature I want to show you is Google Gemini. So Gemini is Google's AI tool. This tool has been out for a while, but it recently got turned on for staff use. So if you are a staff member or a teacher or faculty, you now have access to Gemini. And instead of just talking about it, I want to show it to you. So I'm going to come over here. To get here, I just went to gemini.google.com, and it loads my screen here. And I can ask questions or enter, just like you would in a ChatGPT program, things or prompts for Gemini. So I could say, tell me a joke about math. Okay. And Gemini is going to pull it up. Why was the math book sad? Because it had too many problems. Math is wonderful. Let me try to say, tell me a positive joke about math. Maybe I don't want a sad joke, because what do you call a number that just can't stand still? A Roman numeral, or Roman numeral. Anyways, so funny things like that you can add in. You can also ask data questions or things about teaching. Tell me about best practice for utilizing technology in the classroom. Okay. It's going to take a second, and it's going to generate some answers. So starting with clear learning objectives, we did that today. Providing clear instructions. And this is a great tool to use, especially because this model doesn't train on your data, so it's safe because you're using it within Canyon School District with your email address. So still make sure to protect that personal identifiable student information, but a tool that you can now use with your Canyons District account. Okay, let's look at our next feature. Our next feature is a tool called Notebook LM. So Notebook LM is an interactive notebook. What it looks like is that you can upload a document. You can then chat and interact with an AI interface. And they also have a cool feature that I want to just demo for you. So again, we're going to play with it. This one is called Notebook LM. So again, notebook.lm.google.com. Okay. You can see here, this recently got turned on to use for staff members in Canyon, so not students, just staff. And I only have one in here because I've been using my personal account, but let's create a new one together. So I clicked Create New, and then I need to upload a source to get started. So I'm going to go find a source, and I have one on my desktop called Imagine Impactful AI. So this is a paper that I want to read, and I'm going to upload it, and I'm going to call this, and there it goes. It's going to auto take from there. AI in 2012 education. It's going to give me a brief summary. And this is the chat window, so I can ask any questions about it. I'm going to move my head real quick so you can see this. But I can ask any questions about it. So, oh, there we go. This is back in normal view. So I can ask any questions. Here's my sources. You can upload multiple sources. I'm going to say, tell me a summary of this article in 2 sentences. Okay. It's going to think for a second. Here's my sentences. This white paper discusses this, highlights the needs for AI tools to be built on effective curriculum and proven pedagogy. So good. It's pairing those with best practice. Tell me 3 details about best practices from this article. Okay, here's some best practices, and it will actually highlight where it is in the source. So you see I click there, it's highlighting the information straight from the source from me. So it's not just a chat with documents though. You can also do some other things over here. You can add a study guide for it. So it's going to generate a new note for me there. There's also a briefing doc. So here's my new note. Here's the quiz that they paired with the study guide. Okay. You can also do a briefing document. Like I said, it'll take a minute. This would be a document if I wanted a quick brief on what was happening here. So here's my briefing document, my main themes, key ideas and facts, questions of quotes of importance, implications. But my favorite thing that it does is it's going to make a podcast. So before I hit generate, I can customize it. I'm going to move my head again. So focus on main ideas, keep the podcast under 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to generate that. It's going to take a few moments to do that. But this is Notebook LM. Has some amazing and incredible features. Right now you can just share it with those people that are staff members, but you can also add them as collaborators up here in the share menu. If I wanted to share it with one of the members of the AI team, I could share it as an editor or as a viewer. Editors allow them to add different notes and things, so I could click editor. Viewer just allows them to see what I've done. Okay, but it's only staff members right now. Standard Google thing, you can copy a link and then share that with anyone that's listed here. All right, we can also do a timeline document. I'm just waiting for this to generate that conversation. Here's a timeline of main events. So if you had more of a nonfiction text. After you've done this too, you can also go back and add sources. So if you want to have more information be included with your Notebook LM, you can do that here. All right, this is taking a few more moments than I thought, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave this, go through a couple more features, and come back, okay? All right. Our next update is a Google Forms update. So you now have the option in Google Forms to do a satisfaction survey as a question. So what that looks like is that people can rate their experience. You could put that in a feedback form. You could ask your students about how their day is going, rate that. And that is just in the drop-down menu here instead of a multiple choice one. I'm going to play that again. It's a rating system in that drop-down. Other new things in Google Forms, you can publish the form and manage certain responders. So you can share it with certain people, or you can say editor view is restricted to only certain people, responder view is anyone. So some more controls there for your Google Forms. All right, this one is labs.google. This is a great video if you want to come back and watch it. I would encourage you to, but again, I'm going to go and show you some of those things. So labs.google is the home for AI experiments at Google. Anything that they do that they're working with AI comes here. That was how Notebook LM was started. This is also how Gemini was started. But you can see here that they have some really fun things. They have talking tours with Street View. They have Notebook LM there. We just saw that earlier. They also have things like Food Mood. They have a Say What You See activity. So lots of fun AI ones. I want to show you this one. It's called Food Mood. I'm going to try this experiment. So we're going to combine 2 cuisines into one recipe. So we're going to do it for, let's do New Zealand and Samoa together. Oh, I put San Marino, not Samoa. Let's do Samoa. Okay, and we're going to do a main course for one person. We're going to click Let's Cook. And it's going to make a recipe for me over here on the side with some ingredients, some cook time, and then also over here it's going to generate the image for me. I've seen some teachers in foods classrooms and different subjects there that have utilized this. I've also seen it used as a cultural element for students. And there's the picture of this main dish, which is called Pacific Harmony. Lamb and tropical sweetness of coconut. So sounds delicious. This one seems a little bit more fun. They also have some serious ones over here on Google Labs, including one, I'm looking for it, called Illuminate. See if I can find it for you. They may have moved it out of where it normally is. ImageFX is a great creation one. Here's Illuminate. You can turn your academic papers into engaging AI audio generated content. So really cool. Which I'm hoping, there we go, is what's happening inside of Notebook LM. So here's my podcast. We're going to play it.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into AI in K-12 education. We're going to be looking at Imagine Learning's white paper.
Now, my favorite feature is they have something called interactive mode. So here we go.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into AI in K-12 education. We're going to be looking at Imagine Learning's white paper, Imagine Impactful AI, and pretty thought-provoking stuff about the future of our classrooms.
Yeah, it's a really hot topic right now, and Imagine Learning's perspective is especially interesting. I mean, they're coming at...
Oh, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
Tell me why the perspective is so interesting.
Well, I think it's interesting because, as I was starting to say, they're coming at this from a curriculum provider's point of view.
Okay, so you can see there, not only does it generate a podcast for me, but I can jump in and participate with it as well. So that is Google Labs. Like I said, that's where they house Notebook LM. That's where it started. So we got to jump back and see some cool features with Notebook LM. All right, let's look at another one. This one is cover images in Google Docs. So you just go to the insert menu, cover image. You can choose from stock or upload. This example is going to upload one, and it makes those documents seem so much more professional. It adds that image. It feels very polished and refined. All right, I wanted to take a second to give you a processing moment. So far, we've seen Gemini, we've seen Notebook LM, we've seen some new responder features and ratings in Google Forms. We've explored labs.google with some of their cool AI features, and we also looked at document image covers. So I want you to take a second and pause this video to give you a moment to process. What have you liked? What do you wonder about? What might you explore more, especially thinking about how you can integrate one of these features into your classroom? So we're just going to take a minute to pause. Wonderful. For whatever you've liked or wondered about, if you do have questions, send me an email. But write those questions down and take those as a chance to be curious and explore some of those Google features. Okay, we have 5 more features to explore. The first one is document tabs. So this is inside of Google Docs. They will show up just on the side panel for you. You can click plus, you can name tabs, you can add emojis to them, which I'm about to do right here. And those tabs live all in one document. So there's our cover image one, there's our project timeline. These are really great because they help provide organization to documents. They also mean that you don't have to go all over the place. So think of it as having kind of like a little backpack, and you can have multiple tabs inside of that backpack. This would be a great strategy to teach students for note taking across classes or even across units. The next one is slide templates. So there are now 40 new different templates inside of Google Slides. So there used to be like 5, and now we have this pitch deck one. We have some of the ones that you saw there with different colors, with some different branding. They got there just by clicking this little button right here, okay? And that will bring up those presenter templates for you. So bunches of new slide templates. All right, feature number 8 is improved comments. So here you can see they're stacking those comments. You can get overviews, and they summarize the last 2, so you can track those conversations, see which ones all comments versus just comments that are for you, and you can see that across the document. So if you're one that works with students and you're giving them feedback with these comments and it's been through lots of process, this will help you organize that a little bit better. Okay, the next one is called building blocks. So I want to open that and show you. So here I am inside of a Google Doc. Here's my document tabs that we just looked at. You could add those. But we're going to go look at the building blocks, and I'm actually going to move myself up here so you can see these a little better. Building blocks are just like pre-built templates for Google Docs, and you can add them in sections. So we have one for meeting notes or email drafts. They have a new one for simple decision logs. They also have over here, you can see organized. I clicked more. They have bunches for meetings. There's a simple decision log, a detailed one. There's project management templates, so a review tracker, team directory, assignments, product roadmap. They also have a launch tracker. So if you have like students that are working on a long-term project, showing these some of these things would be helpful, so that they can learn what they are and how to utilize them in a work field, especially if you're teaching upper grades. I really love meeting notes. These are great things for your PLCs, and awesome way you can just tag people in them, and then they're pre-set up and they're attached to calendar invites. So there are some new templates in there. Like I said, building blocks itself is not new, but some of those sections are. All right, and the last one I want to show you is calendar interface. So we're going to go look at this one too, but there's a couple of them with calendar interface. One, in the settings menu, there's now an appearance option. So you can see here, I could do light mode, I could do dark mode, I could do the device default. Let's put it on dark mode for now, just for fun. We also have a new option to switch to tasks mode. So if you have tasks that are assigned to you, you can see those not just on your calendar, but actually in the tasks. And we have time insights. So if you're someone that's using Google Calendar or teaching your students about Google Calendar, you can see how many meetings they have on average with that new time insight. All right. So that was our 10 features. Our learning intention today was that you're learning about new features. So we learned about 10 of them. They're right here. Just a quick recap. Google Gemini, Notebook LM. We saw Gemini and we asked those questions. Notebook LM, we saw the podcast generation from the source. Google Forms, we looked at how there's a rating system now, as well as options for who to share forms with. We looked at Google Labs and explored things like Food Mood and saw that that was where Notebook LM was housed too. And then we also looked at cover images in Google Docs to make them more professional. Then we took a pause, came back, we saw Google document tabs. We looked at the 40 new slide templates, talked about improved comments and how they could support students, looked at those building block updates like meeting notes and project tabs, and then looked at the new Google Calendar interface. All right, so we learned about those features, and now we need to actually apply them. So the success criteria today is knowing you've learned it when you can select one new Google feature. So I have this little icon here, but what I want you to do is find a Post-it or an email draft or a document and find some place to write down what feature you're going to try and the link to it. So if you're using, maybe you're using labs.google in your foods classroom, I want you to go find a place to put down labs.google, find the link, or pull it from these slides. You can go back to the slide there linked in the titles, and then put down, I want to use this how. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 30 seconds just to do that. I'm going to pause for a second. You can pause this video, but I want you to commit to writing that down. Wonderful. We've taken about 25 seconds there. Wherever you wrote that down, I would encourage you to go back and look at it. That's how you're going to know you're successful. You've seen these features, but how can you write down how you're going to apply it? And then I would challenge you to go do it. These features really can benefit your students. I shared a couple examples as we went through, but I'm excited to see your creativity and use of them in your classroom or space. So thank you for watching this bite-sized PD. If you have questions, feel free to send me an email. I also would love your feedback. This is my feedback link, bit.ly/feedback, 4, and then Emma's. And this is also linked in the slides. All of the tools I showed are linked in the titles. So if you want to go back to the slides, you can click on them and just click straight to them. But thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, and I'm excited to see all that you create with Google Tools. Thanks.